Hi everyone and welcome to session 2. Now don't focus on the due dates, I just want you to focus on what we're accomplishing this week. For this week you're going to be reading chapters 4 and 6. You have discussion board for session 2. You have session 2 homework, paper topic, article, summary 1, chapter 3, 4, and 5 quiz. With your session 2 supply and demand discussion board, make sure that you have an APA formatted in-text citation and reference to support your work. Make sure that your first post is due by Wednesday as well, and your remaining 2 peer responses are due by Saturday. For your session 2 work, make sure to focus on your content development, and then with your article summary, let's click on that and let's go over that because that's worth 100 points. With your article summary, you're going to locate an article, any economics related article. Articles you don't want to look at are Investopedia, anything with an OP that you don't want to look at. What you're going to do is write a 1-paragraph summary of the major points of the article, indicate whether you agree or disagree with the conclusion of the articles or the concepts. I'm also going to tell you that you need to include, as number 3, the full article in the one document. And I'm going to do this with you. I'm going to type it with you so you can see that. That's very important. So number 3, include full article, no links or extra documents. So after you've done completing your work, you want to put the full article, no links and documents, after just copy and paste it in there. So then I can review what you put. That's what we're looking at. Now let's go over some of the quizzes you'll have this week. Let's go to chapter 3 quiz. Now I won't go over every question, but I'll go over a majority of the questions. Now, the market demand. The market demand is looking at all the individual demand curves added up. Individual demand. You're looking at the law of demand or the demand curve. So look at the demand curve and look at the relationship. For the law of demand, you'll focus on the inverse relationship between quantity demanded and price. Question 4. When the price of a good rises, what will happen in terms of the demand for a good if it's complementary or I should do it this way. It should be a quantity demanded change. I think that'll make it easier if we focus on that. It should be a quantity demanded change. Question 5, which of the following will shift the demand curve to the right for normal good? So if our income increases, we buy more of something. Question 6, look at the supply curve. It's looking at the law of supply, upward sloping supply curve. Question 7, market supply curve will shift to the right. It's looking at the factors of supply. Question 8 is looking at the market equilibrium, and that's where supply and demand are equal. Question 9, which of the following will not change the demand for movie tickets? Think of the price of movie tickets. That will just be a movement along the curve. Question 10, if there's a price ceiling that's set below the market equilibrium, is there a shortage or surplus that will exist? Let's go to chapter 4 quiz. Now, I think the instructor guidance videos are very helpful, but it's very important that you review them. Market failure occurs when the government has to get involved in making decisions on where production should be. Public goods. A public good is a good where the government has to produce this good or service. A good with a negative externality. A negative externality is a cost to a third party. A transfer payment is a payment from the government to an individual or business. Public goods are underproduced because the government has to get involved to provide a subsidy for people to do more of them. And the problem with underproduction is there's a lot of challenges because public goods are not satisfied the way they should be in the market. Regressive tax would be when your income increases, you start to pay less in taxes. And this happens at a certain income level with your income. Which define the federal government's biggest source of tax revenue? That's right from your book. Which define part of government spending has grown the most rapidly in the last few years? That's part of your book as well. Question 10. Economists would say the additional public sector activity is desirable only if what occurs? Now let's go to Chapter 6 quiz. And also, while we're reviewing a lot of this stuff, if you ever have any questions on the course concept, please let me know. I'm more than willing to assist. Question 1. Price elasticity of demand. It's looking at how consumers respond to price changes. One reason why young smokers have very elastic demand for cigarettes. So if it's very elastic, that means when the price changes, consumers don't buy it. If the price elasticity is 0.4, that's a very inelastic good. And there will be a very small change in quantity demanded compared to the price. The more time consumers have to purchase a good, the more elastic it will be. If the price elasticity is 1.74, that means it's going to be it's going to be an elastic good, and if the price increases, people aren't going to buy it. Question 6 looks at the elasticity of supply. Question 7, if they're luxuries, if income elasticity, you're looking at if it's positive or negative. It's luxuries. That's looking at normal goods or inferior goods. Question 8, inelastic products have which of the following characteristics? Question 9, which defined pairs of goods exhibit a positive cost-price elasticity? That means what goods would have if it's positive, it's going to be either substitutes or complements, and if it's negative, it could either be substitutes or complements. Make sure to focus on that rather than if they're substitutes or complements. As you move from the upper to lower portion of the demand curve, elasticity, if you think about this, the higher you are in price, the more elastic. The lower you are in price, it's more inelastic. So these are some of the concepts that you're going to be reviewing. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I look forward to your effort this week.